Okay, this is the Passport ROV camper with the bump out dinette, and what I want to do is cover here a couple of fixes that that are important for just continued reduce the damage. So when the dinette has these extension arc legs that come out, the one on this side is already fastened in with some screws. Because it's not really meant for any storage, there's a number of electrical components and things under there. But the one on the opposite side, it has a removable storage piece here. So you have some extra storage under here, which is a nice feature. The only problem is when you're driving down the road, you hit a bump, this piece comes loose and turns like that behind when the bump out is closed, and what happens is it gets caught behind this side trim here, and as you move the bump out, it tends to pull this, rip this right off of the unit. So because of the, you know, it'll hit against this when the bump out's out, this gets behind it. So what I want to do is I still want to have access to this storage, but I don't want to put screws in. So what I'm going to do is I want to put a clip on this panel that will hold it in place, keep it from bumping while we're driving, but so I don't have to remember to remove this piece every time I move the camper. So I'm going to pause this film and I'll get one of these clips in place and show you how it will work. Okay, the hardware that I've chosen to use is this roller snap. You can get it in just most home improvement centers. It comes with a couple small screws. This piece will be attached to the lid, and this will be attached to the inside of the box. So the idea is when the lid comes down, it snaps in there, and then it's got something to hold it in place when we're moving around. So that's the cap. These particular ones I'm using are a Gatehouse brand. There's the part number. Okay, now I have the clips in place. Just so you can see, here's the clips that are in either side of the panel. I use a drill screwdriver, but if you haven't worked a lot with that, it's easy to overstrip these small screws, so you may want to use a hand screwdriver. Also, I just use one of these center punches to make a hole. So once I put my fitting in place, I just would snap it. It's spring loaded, it makes a little starter hole so this screw doesn't walk around, gives it a place to start. You could use any awl or anything sharp, even a nail. I would recommend doing that just to give you a little start. Otherwise it's going to wobble around on you and won't go in. It's hard to get started. But once it's in, it's in good. It'll hold well. So you can see I have the roller pieces in place, and everything's looking good there. So what happens here is now you just put the panel in place. You're going to center it over those clips, and then it'll just snap in place. And that'll keep it from bouncing when you're driving around. Yet just to remove it, it's not a hard thing to remove. So there's a number of different types that you can get. These particular ones I had, but you can get different types of clips. And anyways, that's how I would recommend making a fix to that, just to save your paneling and trim work. Another suggestion I would make, and I just thought of this also, maybe a little bit easier for you. The bottom of the cushion has a hook and loop fasteners for it. It has the loop up forward that goes to this hook part, and then the back part has the hooks that go into this felt covering that they put on this board. So what you could probably get away with, since there's the felt covering goes around, you could probably get some loop fastener and just staple it along some of these outer edges, just a few pieces, or run the whole edge. But that way, when you set this in there, and just put and push it down on those hook and loops, it's gonna grab that the fabric on the board, and hold that in place and keep it from bouncing. So that may be another fix. Give it a try either way.